Hi, I'm Hollis Roberts, and I'm the program manager with Magic for the Marymount School. And I am here with Kate, our mentee, and Jennifer, her mentor. Kate, will you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kate Sharkey. I am a senior at Marymount, and I will be going to Wake Forest next year.
And Jennifer, will you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jen Sobek, and I am an astronomer with the Canada France Hawaii Telescope. And I have worked with Kate for, I think, a little over 4 months now.
Wonderful. And Kate, will you share about your project?
Yes. So basically, Dr. Jen and I were using code specifically with Jupyter Notebook and Python to look at data from the SDSS survey. It was it was very, very cool, and we were effectively looking for distance using H magnitude bands and chemistry to see if there were any elements of life.
That is so neat. Will you tell us about some of the skills and programs you learned this mentoring session?
Yeah. So in terms of skills, definitely time management and giving myself room to accept mistakes. I mentioned this in my presentation, but there were definitely a lot of times where I had to sit and just problem solve the littlest details. Coding is very complicated because a single period can make the whole thing not work. But Dr. Jen has been incredible and insanely patient with my ramblings. So I'm very, very grateful for her for that. And then I would definitely say just enjoying the moment of when we do have a success and riding that high as long as I can.
That's amazing. And Jennifer, will you tell us a little bit about your experience working with Kate and what you noticed about her and her growth over the course of your mentorship?
Yeah, so first I have to say, just personally, it's nice working with somebody that, is enthusiastic and has drive and also the wherewithal to deal with coding because I totally understand and I feel Kate immensely when your code doesn't work. My God, it's like the worst of times, right? And then, to be a little Dickensian about this when it finally does work, right? You're like, yes, and the celebration. So I completely, I completely empathize with that. So the nice thing was I learned a lot too because I'm very used to teaching college students, right? And so to understand like, hey, how do I adjust the material and stuff like that? And also I was used to just, hey, let's focus on the science. So it was so nice to bring the element of coding and actually somebody who really, was interested in coding to be like, no, let's try to approach it from that dynamic. So that was really cool. And then, yeah, I think just, I could see like just, how just kind of going through the steps, but then, and I feel bad about the rush because it was a rush toward the end to get to the really cool stuff. Right. And that, I do feel, I wish I could have just tweaked that slightly, but just kind of going through and then just building and then seeing like, and also her having some success because I really believe like a lot of this stuff, I hope she uses it in her CV in the future. I hope that, at Wake Forest, like, yeah, because I mean, it's a good body of work that she did. So I'm pretty excited. And I hope you feel good about it too. Cause like, yeah, I mean, you're doing college level work here. Sorry, I didn't mean to pressure you on that kind of work, but I'm just telling you that you like excelled and succeeded. And I mean, I have undergrads that have done, something similar. So I'm just so impressed. I'm very, very impressed by that.
Thank
It
you.
really is impressive. And Kate, tell me a little bit about what it was like working with a mentor and how you think it might have helped you learn and grow.
It was incredible. It's having the fact that there's like a community of female scientists is just amazing. Seeing Dr. Jen balance both family life and a professional life it just makes it seem like it's very possible. Neither of my parents work in science, so I'm kind of the first of interest to that, and I've never had that example. But Dr. Jen makes it look very easy and very possible, and it's very, very exciting. Also working with a mentor, just having someone to turn to when I wanted to look at something or I was struggling with something, it was really nice to have that option. And Dr. Jen was someone who I would text at like 3 in the morning, being like, hey, can we look at this tomorrow? And she would respond almost immediately when she woke up. And it's been a really, really great relationship. And I'm hoping we can keep it up.
I love that. Is there anything you would have wanted to do differently with your project or you would have hoped was different with your magic experience?
I think meeting in person would have been very cool, but obviously we're on opposite ends of the coast, so that would not been possible. I do wish we had more time, hopefully over the summer, if you're available, Dr. Jen, we can keep working, but I would love to learn more about the chemistry. I probably sounded a little unsure when I was presenting because we did just do that on Monday and Tuesday. But I would love to keep looking into the chemistry of M13.
Well, that's fantastic. And Jen, what was the high point for you this session?
I think honestly, like getting a chance to work with people like Kait and just, work in this environment, I get so used to the machinery of science, right? Like I have to project manage and do all this stuff. It was so nice just to do science and to do some science with somebody who was like interested in it. You know what I mean? That breathes life into me. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, I felt like I was just glad. And actually, I even remember texting my colleagues and slacking my colleagues. Using Slack to message my colleagues like, hey, I'm doing science and this is great. And I'm helping my mentee. And I'm like, I even showed them some of our plots, right? Because like the code that we worked on. Yeah, I was like, hey, take a look at this. So I just wanted you to know my colleagues are actually interested in it too. So yeah, you're impressing people on all the levels, right? So yeah, that was the high, just being able to, instead of, just working on like, how do I get this and enable science, actually doing it with somebody that, really was interested in it. And then, and I hope also that, yeah, just working in a community because like Kait, like I didn't really have that growing up. I am the first scientist in my family by far. I'm also first gen college student, right? And so it was just, yeah, I'm so glad that maybe I'm hoping to pay it forward. Does it make sense? And just, yeah, working with somebody that's like, oh my God, she's like a dynamo. Yeah, that was great.
Oh, that is just spectacular. I'm going to ask you both very similar final questions, and I'll give it to you first, Kait. If somebody wanted to join Magic as a mentee, what advice would you give them?
What advice would I give someone who is thinking of joining? I would definitely say go into it open-minded and that the projects themselves will be very broad when you begin. I was very worried that I wasn't going to have anything specific to present on like the first 2 weeks we met because there wasn't a clear plan originally. And I'm someone who loves structure, but Dr. Jen was like, trust me on this. And I'm very happy I did because I love what we completed. And like I mentioned before, time management is very important, especially with the college application process. I found that kind of taking that hour and a half every time we met was a really nice break, and to just kind of focus on what you're doing in the moment and ignore the college process in the second.
Very wise advice. And Jen, if somebody wanted to mentor with Magic, what advice would you give them?
I think the idea is just to always let your mentee know that that you're there for them, right? And I hope that, but I'm going to say it again, Kait. I hope that it's really easy to get down on yourself, like just and then just to be like, hey, share experiences where you both succeeded as well as didn't, right? Because I think I hope that we say, hey, there's a plenty of times that I have messed up and I still managed to make it through, and I'm doing pretty good science-wise, right? So just kind of giving people grace to kind of get through life, get through issues, and then understand, hey, things come up, and then just keep on at it, and that they're there for them. So yeah, that's the advice I give mentors. Just be open and honest.
That is great advice. Well, thank you both for your time today. Kait, fantastic job in your presentation. It was absolutely phenomenal. And Jen, the time that you gave and the knowledge is invaluable. So amazing. And I hope you both have a great evening. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks.
you too.
See you guys.